Right guys, I'm going to go about drawing a cross-having joint here. So I'm going to show you two ways. The first video I'm going to show you is using the mates and an assembly, create an assembly, so we'll create two individual parts. So we're going to start here anyway and create a document, open a document, and we'll call this cross-having joint. So I'll create that. Because we're only dealing with these just individual parts, I'm not going to go to terrible trouble here naming these things. So to start off with, in a way, I want to create a sketch, and I'm going to sketch on the front plane. I'm going to hit the letter N on the keyboard to bring it normal to. Don't close this, whatever you do. Go up here to where there is the corner rectangle, center rectangle. Pick the center rectangle and drag it out and make it something kind of long like that there. Now that's still active, so if you hit the escape on the keyboard, it gets out of that, and then you can go to your dimensions, otherwise you'll end up drawing a whole load of rectangles, which you don't want. So that's 44. Then this here, I'm going to make it 132, and I'm going to OK that there. Now I could name it here, but I'm not going to bother naming that there. Because I've only got a few parts and I want to keep the video as short as possible. I'm going to hit extrude. It's asking me what I want to, there are faces or regions that I want to extrude. I'm going to click that. We can't really see what's going on there, and I'm going to make it 30 because that's the depth of the wood. And I'm also going to hit it symmetrical. So you'll see what's happening here when I go into this. If it wasn't symmetrical, it all goes out one side. So I'm going to make it symmetrical because that there center line is kind of handy for a later stage as well too. And you'll see what I mean in a wee while. So I've got that block drawn. It's a vertical piece, and I want to take the trench out of the back of this now. So go to sketch again. I'm going to click this side that I want to draw on, and I'm going to go N on the keyboard for normal 2. Go up to the rectangle, corner rectangle, and I can pick it for anywhere along this line. You see it's highlighted, it's come up orange, and I'll drag it along here, and I'm actually going to go to that middle one there now because the plane is in the middle, and I know that the trench is halfway on it anyway, so that works out good. Hit escape again to get out of the command. You can see it was still in that command, it's gone now, and I'll make this 44. It's black from here to here because it knows that it's half the thickness of the wood, which is 15. I'll make this 44, and I don't really need to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway just so you see what happens. I'll line it up here, and it goes grey because I've already indicated what the overall height of that there is. Now I could name that there, and I could call that the sketch of the trench, but like again, I'm not going to spend time here labeling a whole load of things because there's only a few wee parts in it. I'm going to take the extrude tool now. I'm going to go to the rectangle I'm after drawn. I want to remove that, and I want to remove the whole thing through the depth, which is 44 millimeters in depth, and you can see what's happening there, it's cutting it out. And I'll just OK that. So now I have the vertical piece with the trench taken out of it. If I go back to my isometric view, you'll see that it's there. I might want to put a colour on that there, and I can head into here. I can double click on the colour tab here and make it something maybe a wee bit more like what a wood piece would be. And the part here, I can rename the part. So I'm just going to see CHJ cross-having joint, and I'm going to put in vertical piece there. So that's a part. Don't need this here either, so I can drag that back. And if the planes are kind of annoying me or anything like that there, you can see it's all centered on the plane. I'm just going to hide them planes then. So that's my vertical piece drawn there, and even the origin I can hide as well too. So that's the vertical piece. Then the part studio, I can rename the part studio part here as well, rename that there and just call it CHJ vertical. And now what I want to do is I want to go to the plus sign at the bottom here, and I want to insert a part studio again. Yeah, create part studio. And it'll come back up on the drawn plane here now as I had before. But this time what I'm going to want to do here is I'm going to want to draw the horizontal part. So again, I'm going to go to the front plane. I'll go N for normal 2. I want a sketch. I'll go for my center rectangle, highlight it, the bring comes up orange, click on it, drag it out. It's still in this command up here, so I want to get out of that. Hit escape on the keyboard, put my distance here 132, and my distance here 44. So it's gone black, that's good, and that's the piece, the horizontal piece, and I'll OK that. Now all I've done is drawn a rectangle. I need to extrude that, and I'm going to do a similar job here again. I'm going to pick the region, then I want to make it to the depth of 30, but I want to make it symmetrical because it's be halfways in the planes too. So I'm OK in that. Now the trench is actually out of the front of this piece here, so I'm going to do my sketch. I'm going to pick the top of that, hit the letter N on the keyboard, pick the corner rectangle, not the center rectangle, and drag it out here. If anything goes wrong and you want to remove that there, look at, see that's blue, it's still engaged, escape that, highlight over the pieces you're after drawing and just delete it. But I'm happy enough with that there, so I'll put it in, and see the way the dotted line comes up as well too, it's picking that piece in the middle. And don't be overly concerned about measurements, because we can do that then. That's still activated, so hit escape and it gets out of it. Pick your distance, your dimension, 44. Dimension from the end here to this end, and we'll put it in 44, and you'll see the same thing as had happened before. When I take this last one, because I've already defined the overall length of it, it's going to end up being grayed out, like, you know. So that's okay. I want to take that out now and extrude, cut that out of the piece. So I click my extrude, remove, ask me what I want to take out. I want to take out that. It's only going down 25 there. I wanted to go down 44 the whole way through the piece, and I've got my piece now centered up on the planes. Hit the letter F to focus it back into the middle of the screen for yourself, and yeah, that looks okay. I can hide the planes if I want, and again I can put on a bit of a colour here by hitting the 3 circles and maybe pick a slightly off colour from what I had. Nah, it's a bit too much maybe. They're close enough together, but they'll be close enough to be different too. So I'll rename that. Where's my rename here? Rename, and this is cross halving joint, horizontal. And I'll name the part studio as well to rename that. CHJ horizontal. So that should be good there now. I have the 2 pieces drawn, so I'll skip back to that. That's the vertical, that's the horizontal. And now I want to make an assembly. Now, in assemblies, you have to insert the parts that you want. There's lots of good stuff in this here, but I'm only going to show you the very basics of it here. So you can insert the parts here. I can actually go to other documents. I can take stuff that other people have made as well and put them in, but I'm not going to worry about that yet. So I click on the top one, which is the horizontal, and I click on the vertical one, and I'm going to OK that. Now what you might have seen there is it moved around a wee bit, and I can move all that, but the 2 pieces are not stuck together. They're both independent pieces, unfortunately. So what we need to do is we need to kind of tie the 2 of these together. So what we'll use up here is a thing called a fastener. So you see the fastening mate there. You can actually go to the one that's called a slider mate as well too, and when you do this drop down menu, you can fasten the 2 pieces together. And the points that I want to fasten here is I want to fasten that edge with that edge there, and the 2 pieces pulled together. And now the piece, when I want to move it around, let's see, escape that, I want to move it around, the whole thing moves as one. So that's one way of drawing this here, and I know I've got the assembly here. I'll rename that there, and I'll go cross halving joint. And that leaves me ready to do a drawing now. I think that video is long enough for you to have a go at creating it. So you create the vertical part first. You can always go back and take a look at how I went about that there. Remember, go back up to your isometrics. They're handy for the views as well too. If they get a little bit contorted on you, you can always go back to that there, and it shows you what's happening. And then I have my assembly. So in the assembly, all I done was, if I take this out, I can delete it. If I'm not happy with something or something doesn't go right in there, I can always go to the back as well too. But what I used was a slider mate, and I used the fastener. I don't want to put that in, but that's the drawing of the cross halving joint, or the model of the oh, come back in and see. Oh, where did that now?